Okay, so I believe we can start. Dear viewers, today we have the pleasure of hosting four remarkable individuals who excel in different fields and have many interesting stories to share. Our guests are PhD candidates. Please welcome Malwina Niedźwiedź from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, Konrad Walkowiak from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, Kamila Splinter from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, and Katarzyna Sokołowska from Pomeranian Medical University in Szczecin. Each brings unique experiences and perspectives that will enrich our discussion. And the topic of our discussion is interview with the winners of prestigious internships and foreign scholarships. So please let me start with the first question that I would like to ask to all of you. So can each of you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about the prestigious international internship or scholarship that you have received? So maybe let's start from Malwina. Hello.
Hi, hello. I hope everyone is hearing me well. So, as I was already introduced, I had the pleasure as a PhD student from the West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin take a part in a GUNA project, where main course at our university. And during that project, I had the great opportunity to have been seconded to the Ohio State University in the USA, where I took part in the project, last part of the project focused on the end of life of the materials, where we performed degradation. And I think that's more about the project I will say later. Moreover, as a part of the project, currently I'm in Bologna for the third summer school. So I think that briefly, that's also my part.
Thank you, that's a lot. So maybe now let's go to the Konrad, because I know that he is also in Bologna now, in the internship.
Yes, because I'm having a hope from climate project from Professor Efrey from West Pomeranian University that allow us for that huge opportunity to take part in that project. I'm also seconded to Ohio State University to the agriculture department, in which we can accumulate with the anaerobic and aerobic degradation of PPS, and generally this type of degradation that is very important really for the, I think, whole world to solve the problem with the polymer. And I'm in Bologna for the third summer school, in which I and Malwina show our part of our result, because that experiment is still undergoing. And later we'll just tell more about our research.
So please confirm, both of you are currently in Bologna at the science school, and both of you also participated in the internship at Ohio University.
Yes, exactly.
Is it because you have like similar discipline in the science?
Yes,
Are you from the same
exactly.
faculty? Can you tell more about this?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from the chemical faculty, but he's from the mechanical. But both of us are doing PhD in the same discipline, which is material science, and both of us are taking care of the polymers. So in this project, we were working on the PDS and PBS copolymers, which incorporation of this DLS part allows to tailor degradation, which we're checking and still on the ongoing project. So maybe you would like to tell us something more about from your side?
Yeah, I'm from mechanical faculty, but my PhD is about polymer science. And thanks to and previously I worked with Professor Efrey and her group. And due to that, she knows about my ability, and she decided that she knows that in part of my PhD, I wanted to learn about different types of degradation, and she allowed me for that opportunity to go to the Ohio State University that they specialize in that department in degradation, because they not only doing in lab scale, but also they are cooperating with company inside university, and they have industrial scale of that type of degradation.
Amazing, thank you. So let's jump to Katarzyna from Medical University.
Hi, I am the PhD student in the Independent Clinical Epigenetic Laboratory at Pomeranian Medical University in Szczecin. My main research field of interest is epigenetics, which is science that studies changes in gene expression without altering the DNA structure. And the best known epigenetic modification is the DNA methylation. And in my research career, I mainly focus on the studying effects of various factors such as diet or arsenic exposure on blood methylomes, DNA methylation patterns within the blood of exposed individuals. And I am also the beneficiary of the Preludium Bis grant, the second edition. In general, this grant was built on a collaboration between a National Science Center and the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange. And this grant, in general, found my PhD research and also gave me the opportunity to visit for a 6-month period the Department of Environmental Health Sciences at Columbia University, Mailman School of Public Health in the New York City in the United States.
Amazing. I will definitely ask more about it later. But now
Okay.
let's introduce Kamila. Hey, Kamila.
Hi, it's nice to see you again. I'm Kamila. I'm doing my PhD in chemical engineering at West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin. And currently I'm in Helmholtz Institute Freiburg for source technology. This is my second research stay in this institute. I was there for the first last year as a part of IEST and the DAAD collaboration. This year I'm on a research stay here funded by Erasmus Plus program. And part of my internship here, research stay, is connected with my PhD, which is about waste iron sulfate and converting this salt from the chemical industry into iron pigments and use of iron pigments in different industrial processes. For example, making paints, cements, or any different thing. But I think that we'll talk more about research and internships later.
Amazing, thank you. So you definitely participated in a lot of different internships, but I believe the process and the motivation to apply for these specific internships was different for each of you. So maybe now let's start with Katarzyna, because you told us that you had mandatory internship abroad. So I wouldn't like to ask about the motivation, maybe the motivation to participate in the Preludium Bis grant. But can you tell more about choosing the right place to do the internship? What was the key points in choosing the scientific internship place for you?
Yes, maybe I just start why I decided for applying for the Preludium Bis grant. I felt that this is a great opportunity, like to kill two birds with one stone, like to have a funding for my research in the field that I am interested in, and also to, for at least for a while, go to another lab and gain new experiences. And as you said, that this is like a compilation of two organizations. So the internship was the like a integrated part of the Preludium Bis grant. That was like, and you asked me about the how I choose the right place to go. You know, it was it was a quite funny story because when my supervisor applied for this grant, because in the preluding this grant do not get the PhD student, the supervisor get the grant. He applied to going to the London University because he just looked at the professor who is really, good experience in the bioinformatics field. But later we didn't notice that he moved to Shanghai. And that was a COVID time, so going to China was a little bit tricky. So we were a little bit afraid of going there, and then we are starting to looking for another department. And as I said previously, I joined the Department of Environmental Health Sciences, which even the name suggests that people working there are not mainly focused on the DNA methylation as I do, rather than on the environmental exposures. But we found out before changing the place of my internship that in this department are some well-experienced researchers who can help me with part of my PhD thesis, because in one of the papers that I am going to publish is about the arsenic exposure and its effect on the DNA methylation. So we just have a call, asked the supervisor from the Columbia University if she agreed, and that was so easy because she agreed in a moment, and then we start to prepare some documents to change the place. So yeah, it was looking like that. It was a little bit not planned from the beginning, but finally I am really happy that I go to the New York City and work with those people.
The outcome was great, even if you didn't expect that, so that's amazing. I'm kind of jealous about the scientific internship in New York. Maybe one day. And so maybe Malvina can tell us about your motivation, what motivated you to apply to this specific internships that you have mentioned. And what do you think that your applications stand out? Because I believe that for both of you, Malvina and Konrad, for the Bologna School, was it kind of like sending CVs and waiting for the list of participation? Can you look more closer to that? Thank you.
Sure. So in my case, the situation was completely different because the project was already ongoing. The project is finishing this year, actually. So the places, I didn't really have control over it. Of course, in general, the aim of this project is to exchange knowledge between the academia as well as between the universities and the companies. Therefore, in the project, we have, I think, around 5 different places. So one is the Bologna. In Bologna, we have the one of the oldest university in the Europe, which is the Bologna University, but also the Ecoinnovazione. Ecoinnovazione is a kind of startup company in which mainly the researchers, the PhDs, working and trying to understand and create new life cycle assessments. But for us, at one of the last step of the project, we were sent to the USA, where we could conduct the experiments and then discuss those results with the scientists from Bologna, where they take care of these calculations and all the impact. So we then had this kind of issues or problems or even questions where we can be seconded. But about the motivation, I think that everyone right now knows that there's a huge surge of the problem with the polymeric waste is everywhere, and we should be more responsible for what we are doing, especially as researchers who are working and creating new materials. So we should think about this end of life. I'm not sure if you would like to add something, maybe from your perspective it would be different because you are from different faculty.
Yes, from my side it was looking a little bit different because my motivation was that in my PhD I'm using different material and I'm making copolymers to that material based on it that should also the modification of that polyester is to improve the particulability. And when I heard that I can go to SU where they took care of degradation of materials and they have huge experience with different materials, not only like PPS, but the professor that took care of us was also researching polyurethanes. I knew that I can go there and learn about it because I wanted to expand my knowledge about it because some of experiments we couldn't do that at Western University. So I can only go and see it there. So that was part of my motivation to go there.
Great, thank you. And Camila, how was your path to achieve those internships that you have mentioned?
Well, that path was a little long, so to better understand this, we have to come back to the beginning of 2023, where I started mentoring program Top Minds. That time, my goal for this mentoring program was to achieve some internship or prepare myself for gaining an internship and experience in international cooperation in like third or fourth year of my PhD. So minimum was like in the next year. But my mentor was a person who spent many years in Switzerland, and he stated like, okay, you have to go, you have to gain knowledge, you have to gain experience, because international cooperation can very well develop you as a person and as a scientist. And in that time, we found that IEST is making new offers for following year. And I found two great offers, one in Spain and one in Germany. The problem between these two offers was like offer in Spain was a little bit too long for me because it lasted 6 months minimum, while the offer in Germany was offering the position as an intern for 3 months. And then I realized that maybe Germany internship would be very good for me because institute where I'm now currently doing my research stay, it's the second one, obviously, was taking part into a lot of projects about recycling of industrial wastes. So chemical waste management, something that I'm doing in my PhD project. So goal for the internship last year was to gain knowledge in some analytical knowledge, analytical thinking, because I was involved into work in the analytical department in the institute. And during this internship last year, I realized that maybe this institute in Germany is a very good place for me to try to do something more in my PhD. And literally during the first internship, I realized that I have to do something with this. And shortly after I came back to Poland, I decided that I have to find some different funding source and apply for the research stay, like straight to the institute, not by a different program or different institutions, but trying to do this on my own. And this led me to do my PhD, or part of my PhD here in this year for 5 months in this institute. And I think that this was a very good choice because we don't have to always have some motivation, like straight motivation to do something and plan something, but sometimes with time we can overcome that. Maybe that's a good enriching experience. So in this moment, I'm here on my own from Erasmus internship, was a little hard to do do all the bureaucracy stuff, but I'm here after half a year. I came back to the institute and start working again.
Do you feel like this institute in Germany could be your future workplace?
Yeah, honestly, yes. I think it could be my future workplace because this institute is not like the science institute. It's more like science, the place when science and academia meets industry. That's why it's a very enriching experience because I can develop my knowledge, my laboratory skills, my academia skills, but also have some experimental and industrial experience, which is a very good connection, especially for people who are in engineering studies. So yeah, I think that this institute is very, very good place, and I could think about this and to work here in future, maybe on postdoc or in different time.
Amazing. I always heard that for postdoc is good to go abroad for a couple of months or years. So definitely that the experience you have achieved at this time is very valuable for your science future. And we can definitely say that going abroad, exchanging universities and institutes can lead to finding your future workplace. Going on to the next question, I would like to ask you if you can share a memorable experience or a significant challenge that you faced during your time abroad and how you overcome it. Was it like in the workplace or some work with papers? Let's start maybe with Katarzyna.
Maybe I will first say about my general life, about my first 2 weeks in the US, in the New York City, because I very strongly remember those 2 first weeks because I need to adapt to the New York City realities. Because as we know, in the United States and especially in the New York, everything's work a little bit different. I needed to learn, for example, even how to move on the streets because in the New York City lives 8 million people, which is 20 times more than in Szczecin. So it was a very, very big difference. I also had to get used to cross the street on the red light because in this country, in the city, it's allowed and just everybody do this. And even police officer is really close to you and see it, it's like allowed. So that was a very strange situation for me and a little bit challenging to be the New Yorker. And in this context, I found a big help on the Facebook groups like Polish people living in New York. And for example, through these groups, I learned how to get free access to museums and found out about the lotteries that offer discounts for Broadway shows, which are amazing. So if you plan to visit the New York City, you absolutely must attend at least on one Broadway show. These performances are totally different from the plays or operas that you have seen before. And you ask also about, in the context of working on the university, except continuing my PhD project, I additionally started a new independent project, which is entitled Association of DNA Methylation with Arsenic Metabolites in Urine, Investigating Interaction and Mediation between Kidney Function in a Strong Hair Study. So as you can see, even the title sounds very complicated. And, learning new methods of the DNA methylation analysis was not that easy, but not as challenging as the interpretation of the results. the research team that consists of people from Columbia, but also from Stanford University, they paid so much attention to explain to me what's really going on with arsenic metabolism and how kidney function can regulate this, because I was totally out of the topic. I just only focused my research on the DNA methylation data analysis. So yeah, that was really hard for a while for me. But when the time go on, we start to understand each other, and working on the project was much easier than at the first even 2 months of being in the institute.
So we can say that in the American culture, it was like small things, small challenges that are different in the United States. But in the working place, the change was bigger because you just started doing things. And I wanted to ask you about the working hours. I heard that Americans are very hardworking and works a lot of hours. Is it true? Have you seen something similar?
It was really hard to notice it because I am working like a bioinformatician, so I do not need to go to the office. And it was also funny because I was on the internship. I really want to meet and get to know people from my lab and others working in the department. And I decided that, okay, I will be in the office like every day, like from Monday to Friday at 8, and spend at least 8 hours there. But it was really surprising because most time I stay in the office like alone, or maybe only 1 or 2 people was in the same room with me. And I asked them, why you are working like that? Why you didn't go to the office? And they said, after the COVID situation, everything was changed. And if we do not really need to go to the office, we stay at home, we save time. Because New York is a really big city. And for example, from my accommodation, it was like 40 minutes to get to the university, to the office. So, in the whole day, it's like more than 1.5 hours of traveling. So you can use this time like for working at your place. So it was looked totally different, but like my PI who hosting me, the hosting professor, she was a very hardworking. Like she has a lot of things to do during the day. So it was really hard to catch her for a meeting. So we set the meetings like in every 2 weeks. And when I heard it, for me it was like why we shouldn't meet more often, like maybe once a week, nor in 2 weeks. And then I realized that she's really busy person, so it was quite often for her.
Yeah, I don't think that Polish people would approach this type of thinking that if my road to the work is this long, then I can spend it for working at home. But it's different. I know that New Yorkers go to the work even like the trip is like 2 hours, and that's a normal thing. But in Poland, we just want to move as close to the bus as we can to be faster at work. And so let's go to Malvina. Can you share a memorable experience?
Sure. So first of all, the issues that we had there. So when we get there, our professor was during her holidays. So that was quite problematic because without her signatures, we couldn't get suitable access to the bus, for example. So we're in one of the smallest campus of the Ohio State University in Worcester, and there's only one bus, and you cannot just go and pay to get there. So for the first week, we're going by foot to the cemetery, uphill. So that was quite interesting. That's the story that you can tell your kids. That when I was your age, I was going to school through the cemetery and so on. But from the working point of view, I wouldn't say that we had any issues. When we were doing synthesis, the professor was really involved in all of the research, even from checking the reagents that we had with us to the point of to the last point of the synthesis. I think that's how she acts is all because she's from the industrial background. So she was working in Canada with her husband, who is also professor at the same department. So this way of working of this research group didn't look like academia, for me at least. It was more like industrial, quite often meetings for everyone. So that's something new that I would like to incorporate in every Polish university. So that's from my point of view. I'm not sure if you would like to add something, maybe about Fred.
Yes, maybe I'll just add about what Katarzyna was talking about going from street to street on red light. Because I remember one time there was traffic and the policeman was in his car and he was looking at us. He couldn't go through and we had red light and he was just showing us like, go, you can go. I won't do anything to you. So I was like thinking, okay, the mentality is a little bit different. Especially where
Like in France, it was strange that people are walking on a sidewalk. That was unacceptable for anyone, I would say. Everyone was in a car, so especially those small cities. So.
But that's cool. That's amazing. That the biggest challenge was the red light on the street for you. that's good.
no,
To be honest, and to be honest, we are all living in Szczecin, so you can say that we don't go on the red light, that we are good people, and yeah. Anything more than that about challenges and experiences?
yeah, I think when talking about Szczecin and the red light, yesterday I was talking with Simone that we are working with him on ICA. He's from Polonia, and he's in Conversat, and he was in internship in Szczecin, and he said he now need to watch for him because in Szczecin he get used that he's just coming to the street and he can cross alone. Now he need to look for his life because no one is looking at him that he want to go. About the something what was difficult, I think when we are starting experiment. This was a huge department in a couple of meetings, and we need to manage the work in 3 meetings, and everyone needed to start and get into one day. And when you are getting a group of people into one place that is like 40 minutes walk, it was a bit of difficult to do it. And we needed to do that to start our segmentation of materials. And about this weekly meeting that Martina was talking, not only there was a meeting, there was also you needed to show the report from the whole week. So everyone knew what someone else was doing, and you could check for yourself that, okay, in that week I did that, I get this result, and you can keep track on what you are doing. So I think that's something it would be nice to add, for example, in our university.
Amazing, thank you. And Kamila, do you look at the red lights in Germany?
I was thinking about starting from this because I still don't know how to walk in Germany because at least in my city, there's a problem that on my way to work, I have one crossing with the signals. So obviously it's easy. You just wait for the green one. But the point is that in most of the places in Germany, you don't have places to cross the street, like in Poland, that you are just having the zebra stuff. Here, I think, at least I think so, you can cross the street in any place that you want. Just be careful to not hit by car. But I'm still learning how to manage this in Germany, which is funny because like it's very close to Poland, and I expected somehow the same attitude in the rules and other stuff, but it's not like that.
And with
Yeah.
other challenges, because you said that you have to deal with a lot of paperwork and with going on this internship, can you go into that topic? Was it a challenge?
Yeah, I can go to that topic. It's mostly just because the previous internship was organized by someone, so I didn't have to. I just had to fill every paper that I needed, and I had like the list of the papers that I needed to fill out, and that was just easy. I just get them into one file, sent to the coordinator on the Germany side, and it was done. In current internship, I had to prepare everything with my supervisor from Germany. I had to prepare everything with my supervisor from Poland. Then I have to prepare everything with the coordinator of the program, also at the university. And there were some issues because Erasmus program is usually connected with studies. And if you ask someone like, oh, I'm going for the Erasmus, most of people will think that you are going for the studies, so 1 or 2 semesters abroad. While Erasmus Plus program also offers internships. And there is a slight difference because in case of studies, you can do studies only on some certified institutions, so mostly the universities, while internship you can do in every place that can accept you. And that was a very huge issue at the beginning in February when I was doing all the paperwork, because institute in Germany couldn't somehow understand for a while that they can offer me the position for the internship. So I was in a contact with a supervisor from Germany, coordinator from our University of Erasmus Plus program. So they had like to talk between each other until they understood, okay, we can offer you position for this. It's fine. We don't need any certificate and other stuff. So that was like the first part of doing the internship here. The next part about bureaucracy is that if you're coming to if you're coming to Germany for longer than 3 months, you have to register yourself. It's called Anmeldung, I think. So you have to go to the office, take the appointment. And this is totally different story because in Poland usually you can get an appointment in 1, 2, 3, maybe week. Yeah, just very short, very very quickly. In Germany, I did appointment at the beginning of June, and I booked this appointment at the beginning of May. So I had to wait for the whole month just to get this appointment in the time when I come to Germany, and waiting. Everything has to be like in order. So I went to the appointment, registered myself, then I had to do all the documents to the institute. In this moment, there's an also bureaucracy part of the research, because my supervisor wants to told me that I should prepare some plan of the work. And this is not like very easy plan that I usually do in Poland. It's a very complex plan. I will do this much experiments. I will produce this much of samples. If I produce samples, I have to think if I want to analyze them by different methods. Then I have to announce this analysis to the people who are doing this analysis. So there's a huge part, I would say, that the bureaucracy about the research in Germany that also offers a lot of opportunities, different lifestyle. That's something also that I was thinking about, one of challenge, because we have completely different lifestyle, work style of between Poland and Germany. For example, people in Germany usually eat lunch. It's 1 hour break during the day, and they have to eat lunch. There's an issue because usually in institute people eat lunches in different ways. So it's like the time.
It's amazing, to be honest.
It's like lunchtime from 11. Yeah, it's lunchtime between 11 and 1 p.m. If you want to find someone in this time, you have to know that person lunch times, because every person is different time. So it's sometimes very hard to cooperate with all of them. Also there's a lot of stuff that is working very well. That from my point of view at the beginning it was a little weird, because in Poland when I want to order some chemicals, I'm just going to my supervisor, telling her that I want to order some chemicals, and I'm doing this just like that. Click, make an order on the website, and that's all. Here in Germany, I have to inform my supervisor that I want to order chemicals. Which quantity? What is this? Okay, fine. And then my supervisor has to fill out the sheet for the ordering chemicals. That paper has to be signed by group leader, by, let's say, safety officer, or someone who is connected with chemicals. And before gets ordered, it goes by many different people just to sign that, yeah, you can order this, we allow for this, and it's like much longer way than in Poland. But from the other side, I think it's also connected with the being in order. That it always has to be in Ordnung, so everyone is informed about everything what is going in the institute. There's an also very nice thing, I think, which is setting the meetings. That's something that Katarzyna said before. That my supervisor is also a very busy person. He's department leader. I also have like 2 supervisors, which are also very busy people. So if I want to meet all of 3 my supervisors, is very hard to do. But we have like the monthly meeting of department. On a previous internship, this department meeting lasted half an hour and was every month. So we just discussed like the fresh stuff. And today we had a department meeting in my new department, and it lasted almost 2 hours, because it was really meeting where every person had to say something. So it wasn't just like I'm sitting here and listening. No. You just have to say, what did you do for the past months? Maybe what are your plans for the next weeks? You can also give some comments to people, because obviously there's also place for the presentations, especially when we talk about master or bachelor students or PhDs. They also give some presentations, so other people in the department are giving their feedback, what they can change, what they should focus on when giving a presentation. And this is something that I really like, honestly, and I would like to have something like this in Poland. Like we literally can meet and just discuss about the current situation, because I think that department meetings in Poland, at least in Polish attitude, are not that often, and I think that this is something that we can learn and adapt for our environment.
So it's like corporate atmosphere in the science world, where you have catch-ups and you can say, what are you currently working on? That's good, to be honest.
Can I add something to what Katarzyna said? Yeah, that's I totally agree with you, because on my department was like Monday and Tuesday seminars. So for each seminar, like one PhD student, one lab member, one professor, or maybe some guests invited from another universities need to present something, some project that they are participated in, some results that they finished some projects. So it was really great to hear what people are doing, and they share their experiences. So you said that you have like a monthly meetings. It was like totally busy. Like we have like every Monday and every Tuesday. Like the Mondays meetings were like for a whole department. The Tuesday meetings was like for a smaller group, which are mainly interested in the metals. So the topics was like a little bit different, but still in the environmental health sciences. But it was also great. Like you can also share some experience with others, and maybe someone in the big group, in the big meeting, like because in these meetings could participate like 40 people that you even do not know and ever met, because it was like always hybrid hybrid meetings, like so we can join in person or via Zoom. So after those meetings, you can ask questions about methods, techniques, and projects, and also maybe someone just see you. And maybe after your presentation, propose you some project to do or something like that. So I totally agree with Kamila that at Polish universities and Polish departments, the seminars or meetings are not that common, and it should be common, because from time to time we are working in very big teams. We don't know what people are doing in our labs or departments. So this type of communication, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea, especially when we talk about the everyday work, because what I see here, I met my supervisors at the beginning of my internship, so we catch up the meeting, talk a little about what we expect from each others, how we should work, how we should plan the work and other stuff. I got like the month for set up everything and rethinking about the methodology and other stuff. And like a few days ago, I get meeting again with my supervisor. So we decided like how I should work. I had to like submit the plan and everything. And the very good thing, in my opinion, here is also that because of these meetings, they're like not very often, that you are getting some freedom in the science work, which is very nice from the point of view of being PhD, because PhD in Poland, PhDs are not independent scientists. We are very influenced by our supervisors or kind of under control all the time. While here, I see that PhDs, even master students, they have to submit their plans, what they want to do, what they want to work with, experimental setup and other stuff, which makes us a little more independent, obviously. My supervisor always can come to my office and say, today you are doing this, not what you planned, but it's like other topic. But mostly I can just focus on my research, what I planned, what we discussed, and give me a lot of freedom, because it's not about how many hours you will work. It's more about how you will work, how your work will be done. And work has just to be done. If you do this on Monday or the whole week, they don't care. Especially my supervisor in this moment is a very good team leader. And he thinks that people who are happy, so taking 3 days, leaving early work or anything, people who are happy, they are very good motivated for work. So sometimes he even today said, like, I think that some of you should take some days off so you will work more in the future and be more motivated. And I think that this is very good thinking, because we literally have a lot of freedom, and that meetings are just for a catch-up, like, okay, you are working on this, fine, how's the result, how's the publication going? And it's very, making you very independent for the time. And I think being a PhD and being independent in the same moment is a very great experience. And I think that in Poland, we should somehow also focus on this, because I think that we're trying to be independent somehow in the postdoc, but for real when we are professors. But when we are professors, at the same moment, we are already like the team manager, not the scientist, like who are working in the laboratory on other stuff. So this experience being independent in very young age is very, very valuable.
Definitely.
I mean, sorry for it.
Yes?
I just wanted to add from myself, because You are talking like in abroad, it's like that. But with my supervisor, I have similar situation that I have a lot of freedom to do my experiments and my articles. So, I mean, I think it's a lot depends on what person you will contact, because I heard from some PhD in US that we talked about with others. They sometimes have the same situation that you were talking about. So I think it depends a lot about on what group you will choose get on.
And I will also allow myself to say something. So at my department, we used to have such meetings every one day in a week, but sometimes, so that's why last semester we had like 2 meetings, mainly made by the professor who told us some organization stuff. But usually at meetings that every coworker had presentation what they've done. So that's nice, but for the department, which let's say 10, 15 persons, that's not much. I would like to know what's going on the different departments, on the different floors, on the whole building. So, for example, I would like to perform some experiments and I need some equipment. I will sell this sample to somewhere in Poland because I have no idea that we have this equipment, because it's impossible to find the person, or the queue for the equipment is such long, so I prefer to send the line to a different company and pay same money or even more. So I think that the university should be as a one living organism, not even the department, because departments usually it's like around 15 people and 3 main projects, so everyone kind of know what someone is doing, maybe not that well, so I will not know if this week someone will be in this lab, but I know that the main focus is on that. But in case of others, I have no idea. Thanks God that we have PhDs in the labs where we met, so we know something. But still, I think that for us it's easy, but for the already PhD, already assistants of the professors, adjuncts, they have no idea what's going on at the university, especially in the disciplines which are a different faculty, like in our case. So we are in the material science. Material science discipline is like 3 or 4 different departments. So sure, chemistry, mechanical, the building and architecture, and this bio food something. Yeah, you wanted to say something?
No, that is just for often in Western City. So yes, we have a lot of people that are taking care of similar topics in different departments. So yeah, it just starts.
So that's all for me.
It's amazing how we started talking about the challenges and the redlining, and we finished it at the communication skills at the universities and institutes. But 2 more tribal challenges came up to my head, and I wanted to ask you about the first thing, which is climate and weather. Was it an issue for you? I know that Malvina and Konrad are currently in Bologna, so maybe they can tell us more about the current weather. And the second thing is about the accommodation, because we know that it's not always that easy to find a place to live in the place of the internship. So maybe Malvina and Konrad, you can tell us more about the weather in Italy.
Okay, so maybe I will start. I think it's around 40 degrees right now that we're here. So I'm already, whole wet in that shirt. And I'm outside.
37, exactly 37, just check.
Okay, so yeah, it's very warm here. But when you were in Ohio, it was very difficult because one day we had 10 degrees and next day it was 30 degrees. So sometimes I saw people that are wearing shorts and coat on it, because people didn't know if it will be started raining soon, or after 5 minutes there will be 25 degrees. So it was always changing, and we couldn't accommodate to that weather because it was amazing. It was something that I saw first time, that it could change that much. So I think in Ohio was like that. In Bologna, it's so hard because there is not that much of air conditioners, and I think it's a little bit difficult, especially when we were giving presentation. So yeah,
Against
maybe I'm not in
awful. But I think that you should mention about tornado. So when we were in the USA, so once we took a trip, so we were abroad, let's say, from our state. But when I already left the USA, there was a tornado alert. I think that's something interesting. That's something that I never had in my life. But you had these alarms, don't you?
Yes, one time we had alarm that there is like 90% of probability that there will be tornado. Because in Ohio alone, from start of the year, in March there was only 13 tornadoes. Like only, so it was a lot of them. But I get lucky and it didn't happen. But even during our security program, we were learned what to do during tornadoes. So we get a little bit scared because before going to Ohio, we didn't check if there would be any tornado. We were just going like, oh, probably there will be nice weather. So we get surprised.
Yeah, well, during our first day at the university, we get few courses. So, for example, how we should act during the shooting. And one of them was also about the tornado. So more about the weather. So first week, we were here almost week. First days were quite rainy. There was thunder. So even weather in the Italy might be not that suitable as it is today. I think that's all from us.
That was definitely an experience, not only from the research. And Katarzyna and Kamila, do you have any challenges related to accommodation or the climate?
I didn't met the tornado, but when I was in the New York City, I also got the alarm that this is earthquake right now, and I was a little bit surprised because I didn't felt anything. But a few days after, I asked my supervisor and the postdoc who are working with still if they felt, and they said yes. We have a meeting on a Teams, and they feel the shaking. And when I check the news, it was like the strongest one till 100 years, something like that. So. Maybe because at the time where the earthquake was, I was at the Brooklyn, and they, my supervisor and the postdoc was at the Bronx. So Bronx is upper side of the New York City, and the Brooklyn is a little bit down. So maybe because of those differences, they felt it, and I'm not. About the other things. During my internship, I also saw the solar eclipse. Like it was a very, very, big event. Like in avenues, they tell about solar eclipse. So just take the glass, like sunglasses. I don't know how it's called, like that you can look up to the sun. So like people. Something. Yeah, it's like, and there were a lot of people everywhere. So we can together admire the solar eclipse. At this time, I was not in the New York directly. I was in the Washington D.C. So it was even more amazing in the context of the sightseeing of the sea. But I also because. My internship lasts like from the last days of September, and it ends like a few days after April. So I was like in the winter time here. So the weather for me was okay. I heard that this is much worse when even you are going to the New York City only for sightseeing, only for 10 days or 2 weeks during the holidays like June, July. This is a really bad idea because at this time it's extremely hot there. So you couldn't even breathe. You must remember to take a bottle of water with you because in other case you can just fall down or something like that. It's extremely hot there because in general the streets in New York there's a really little green around. Of course, when you go to the Central Park, there is a lot of green around, but in the street there's like even you can meet even one tree on the street. So everywhere are the buildings and paths. So it's really hard to walk even to the store for a while at this time. But yeah, in general, except this earthquake, it was like a normal weather. Not too hot, not too cold, just perfect.
It sounds amazing, except for the earthquake. It was quite good. So yeah, these were the challenges, but maybe we can say more about the value that this internship has put in your experience, in the science experience, in the knowledge that you gain. So can you say how this experience, that internships contributed to your academic research and professional skills? Did you achieve any significant milestones or in your PhD plan or even looking more further? I know Katarzyna, maybe you can continue because you told already us that you have started learning new things.
Yes. In general, the group that I work with at Columbia University are specialists in a little bit different branch of the research within my field. And as I said previously, one of my work packages in my PhD project required analysis that I wasn't really familiar with. So the internship helped me learn how to analyze the data in a right way, because I have some, imagination how to do this, try to use some skills that I had before, but it was not that good as I learned on the internship. And additionally, as I mentioned previously, that we started the independent project. This project taught me how to work with large cohorts consisting of more than 2,000 samples, because in the context of the DNA methylation data analysis, it is really important, because if you have more than like 100 samples, something like that, you need to work with some servers or some extra strong computers. So they also taught me this one. And you ask also about the significant milestone. I think that in my case, that will be the publication that I am currently working on with the wonderful researchers from Columbia and Stanford University. So, yeah.
Amazing. And you, Camila, are you looking only in your PhD area in that specific internship, or are you looking more into the future of your science career?
It depends on the internship, because last time I was here just for kind of gaining the knowledge in the X-ray analysis. So it's X-ray diffraction and X-ray fluorescence. I was mainly involved in projects connected about that. So I analyzed some of my samples, but I also do a lot of just analytical work for others. So I could identify the phases and help a little with different research. Also, the previous internship allowed me to get into cooperation with the institute and like the main institute, so Helmholtz-Zentrum Dresden-Rosendorf, where I had a chance to do a helium-ion microscopy analysis of my samples, which is, I think, not available in Poland at all. So this is like very huge contribution to my upcoming publication, because now it's in process of accepting in journal. If we're talking about current internship, it's a little different, because in this moment I'm here to do some part of my PhD, but also because this institute is getting a lot of projects about recycling of secondary source materials. It is also important that they need some help. So, for example, in one of the processes that they are doing, they got a lot of iron-rich waste, and because they don't want to just throw it up, my plan for the upcoming weeks, except for the kinetic studies and some modifications of pigments, will be also studies on how to convert this iron-rich material into iron pigments. So it's also like the cooperation on my PhD, but also cooperation with them to do something valuable for the science. And hopefully the milestones in this case will be like 2 or 3 more publications, except for the one that I planned already in my PhD. But also with the future cooperation, hopefully. If I will do good job, possibly I will have an opportunity to come back here sooner or later, and do some more in different projects.
Thank you. And Malvina, you already told us that those kind of internships were kind of connected. Am I right? But was it something more above your PhD area? Can you say more about this?
Sure. So the aim of my PhD was to create hybrid polymer networks for medical applications, for soft tissue engineering specifically. Of course, this is plant-based and degradable material. So let's say this is connected with the Green Map project. But as I already mentioned, the material is meant to be to stay in our bodies. So the biodegradation process ongoing in our body is something completely different than the biodegradation of the plastic waste. So that was biodegradation, same word, but completely different methods, different even, let's say, types. Because here I was working with the dual-T degradation, the enzymes, and in case of this plastic waste, we are working with the bacteria. So in comparison, anaerobic and aerobic microorganisms. So coming back to my PhD, so it's kind of finished, because I'm supposed to finish my dissertation soon, hopefully this month. But what can I say, to don't sound too smart and talking too much about something that someone might be not interested. Current technologies allow us to perform surgeries via minimal procedures like laparoscopy. So for those purposes, we need new materials which can be injected during such procedures and cured in vivo in situ. But the materials that we are working right now are not like that. Therefore, the main goal was not only to create biocompatible, non-toxic, biodegradable material, but to create this in vivo via, for example, photopolymerization. I think that's all, and I truly hope that this project will not be finished at this point, because the material that I created is hybrid polymer network, but so the base of my PhD was the polymer network created by the different PhD student like 10 years ago. But I introduced fibrinogen into it to enhance the antisteric properties. I add the DOPA, so cultural unit, which has excellent adhesive properties, including to the wet surface like tissue or cells. So This allows us to obtain material with better properties for the for the soft tissue engineering field. So I hope, just like the previous project, we'll be able to perform this test on the animal study and even to the human study, which for that material, the previous one, happened last year. So I hope this is not the end of the project, but just a new start. That's all from us.
Amazing, thank you. And how about you, Konrad? Because me, Konrad, and Camila are preparing our mid-term evaluation. So do you think that those internships helped you make significant milestones into your PhD before the mid-term evaluation, or even more?
The research that we conducted in OSU wasn't that much connected with my study. The materials was different, but the knowledge about it that I want to mention Professor Fred Michel, that was huge help, and he told us everything, I think, about it. The knowledge about this, how to calculate the composition of materials, the mineralization, because it's very important that currently we have a problem that polymers start to integrate to microplastic or nanoplastic, but he showed us the method how to calculate the mineralization, but the materials that we are experimenting on, how much of them are changing breakdown into CO2 and methane during aerobic digestion, and can be used as the gas for heating or electricity. So that was great, and I think I can use it in my future studies. And I think when I will contact with Professor Fred, he wouldn't have any problem to help me to conduct this study again for my material at OSU. So that was a huge opportunity, because during my research, we want to change replace traditional fossil-based polyesters, like you are using PET bottles. I want to change that peristaltic unit that is from fossil-based to furan-based to furan unit that is based on let's say in shortcut, like from corn. It's just chemical changes that allow you to get the furans, but it generally is plant-based monomer. And the problem with that is that it's bio-based, but it's not technical. And in my PhD, I will try to make that material change for biodegradable. And thanks to this research, and I will put contacted for these materials and see if the changes that I will provide for that material will be in fact making it to mineralization, not to take down into polymers that will only produce more problems for environment.
So even if the research was slightly different from the things that you do in your PhD, we can say that going abroad on those internships definitely made a huge impact for you. And for example, like you said, Konrad, the networking, the scientific network is something very important. And moving into the part of similar question, because now we were talking about significant milestones, looking more into the research, but did those internships change you personally? Did you form any lasting friendships or professional relationships, like I said about the networking, that you would like to contribute? Maybe Katarzyna?
Yes, it is unbelievable how internships and other scholar programs can lead to lasting friendships. I will tell you one story because it's really unbelievable for me. 1 year before I moved to the New York City for a year-long lasting Fulbright program, a student from Maryland came to join our lab. And since her family home wasn't so far from the New York City, they invited me for Thanksgiving and Christmas also. It was a very wonderful time. And even though I was very far from my own family, they made me feel incredibly comfortable and just welcomed me as their own. And another memorable experience happened like a few weeks ago. That a postdoc from the New York that we are still working together came to Poland to the third edition of the conference that we are organizing. So we can meet again. So this is really amazing how these internships and also, as I said, previously, scholarships and other international programs and also conferences make the opportunities to meet people again.
Thank you, Camila. And how about you? Because you are a second time in the same place, so we know that you made some kind of relationships with those people. But are there any significant influences on the networking part for you?
I think that the whole internship is like a very intensive networking stuff. Especially that last year, my supervisor, like we were talking about a lot of stuff except about the work. So obviously we're working together, but then we were also talking about a lot of stuff like music, books, concerts, everything. What's connected with our lives. And I remember that around the Christmas, I got a package with my samples because I couldn't took some of the samples from Germany to Poland, so they just sent me them in a few weeks later. And I discovered that in the package of the samples were also the book. My supervisor just bought me the book because he's like, I hope that you don't have this book, because if you are the bookworm, it's always very hard to think if you have this book or not. What if you have this book? So it was very, very memorable experience, especially that we meet like a week later again, because I was in Germany again for the week when I was analyzing my samples in Dresden. And I feel like these people here are really, really different from people who I know in Poland. They are completely different. They have completely different lifestyles, work style. So, for example, after 5 p.m., when they are coming home, we are not talking about work. This is the most important. I still can see these people outside of the work, in medieval club, in concerts. I can go to coffee shop with some of them and just chill out, drink coffee, eat some good cake, or Schokoladekuchen is like the best. The chocolate cake is like the best one that you have to try in Germany, and still have some life with them. So obviously, I wouldn't come back to the place which is not the best, especially when we talk about networking. And I hope that it will help me in the future, because people here in an institute, they're not Germans mostly. They're people from around the world. So you can meet German people, but also you can meet people from Finland, from Brazil, Croatia. You can, with this contacts, I think that I can go to any place in the future and just call like, hey, are you in home? Because I need some tour guide around your city. And with this, I can just have nice experience in different countries, just because we have a networking here and we work together for a while. So yeah, networking is very, very good, and I think that it's very underestimated in Poland. because if you know how to do this and meet right people, you can do a lot of with them.
Thank you. And how about you, Malvina? Maybe you met some scientific friend from Ohio in Bologna.
So actually, as Camila already mentioned, at our department, well, there is a girl from India, there is the head of the department from the Hungary, the Professor Michelle said she is American, but the head of the company in which we're cooperating is from Asia. So many different cultures met at one place. We even had an event at the university, celebration of nations. So that was one day that everyone from the whole university, not only from our campus, but also from Columbus, came to the Worcester and stand their faces with the excellence from all around the world. I think that the best thing that we added there was the soup from Thailand. And we even repeated at home because we asked for the recipe and we did that at the Ohio State University. But about the friendships, I would say that we had the best contact with the Polish girl. So yes, the Polish girl is working there. She was really helpful, but we didn't have cars. So moving around the city or even get to the airport without the car, it's really challenging. So she was our angel saving us in all of those situations. And I think that the person that is also worth to mention is Simone from Italy and all those Italy guys from the LCA. Yes, that's what you want to mention. So the floor is yours.
I mean, Simone was great help from Peking because when we were starting to conduct the experiment, he was starting to telling us what he need for life cycle assessment. So because of that, we didn't only learn about interpretation, but the approach that planning the experiment and having in mind the LCA, that currently it's very important for European Union. So, and Simon now organizing that third summer school. He had huge help like choosing the Xero company that allow us to print our poster. He give us a tour around the city after conference. He helped us to find the accommodation. So yes, that was really huge help.
Thank you. Before I will ask the last question, I have also personal question. Have you felt like learning new language in the place you're doing your internship, Camila, and maybe Malvina and Conrad in Italy, or maybe you are fluent in Italy? I don't know. Can you come closer to that?
So about the printing course, so we had this kind of situation this week because we need the invoice, and back in Poland when we prepare a poster, we were sending 2 emails to 2 points which Simone recommended. So we are sending emails in English, and getting responses in Italy. Okay, Google Translate, fine. But when we get to the points for our poster, and we're trying to get the invoice with the whole name of our university with the number. So it was kind of a beautiful lecture of Italy. But we got what we wanted. So that was really important to learn keywords. And even, I think I stupid example about the bag. No, but if you're interested, I recommend to check this word before coming to Italy.
Well, when we talk about Germany, honestly, it's very hard to live in Germany without German language. So as Malvina said, it's really important to know at least keywords. So if you are going to the shop, if you want to pay with a cash or by card, you just have to remember that we also, there's many international students, so we are usually talking that you need to know few words, like ja genau, ach so, and mit Karte bitte. So this is like the basic stuff that you need to know before you go to Germany. But honestly, in my opinion, I'm very glad that I'm here in the institute because most of people here speaks English. Even when they speak German, it's fine because most of them speak also English, so they can easily translate. But knowing German here, especially in a smaller cities, just makes your life easier. Even with like bureaucracy stuff, you have to go to the office to register yourself or get letters in German. Of course, you can always translate this by Google Translate even. But sometimes it's good to know what they are speaking about just from the context. So yeah, I think if I can give any advice for someone who wants to go to Germany, learn at least basic words and basic phrases to understand what's going on around you. But mostly, I think in bigger cities you don't need that much German as in smaller ones.
Genau. And Conrad, how about the Italian? Do you think it's important if you go to Bologna to know this language? Not only looking at the invoices, because in the everyday topic.
I mean, with English, that even that wasn't that much problem because we were starting to show it and understand with friends. These people are really friendly and they don't have any problem with when we don't speak Italian, they don't speak English. We always manage to somehow show them with hands, and we understand a bit Italian. They understand a little bit of English. So sometimes we are talking in Hebrew, and the person that is talking Italian sometimes look at Marvina, sometimes at me, and trying to notice which one understands her better and which one we answered. But yes, I think even in US, sometimes we met people that were only speaking Spanish. But it was similar like here. We only met like very positive people that didn't create a problem for us. So I think we are just have good luck, or maybe it's just like people are really friendly outside when they see that we don't understand the language.
Amazing, thank you. And the last question for all of you, for each of you, would be what advice would you give to the other PhD candidates who are considering applying for international internships or scholarships? And do you have any tips for the application processes? Maybe Katarzyna first.
I remember the period before my internship, and it was very stressful because in addition to preparing the documents for the Polish National Agency for Academic Exchange, I also had to fill out and sign numerous documents required by Columbia University. I also didn't know how long lasts the application for a visa. So the whole process took about 6 months. I don't know how it was like in your Malvina and Conrad case, but yeah, like the whole documents from the first day of the thinking about the application to application for a visa, it was like 6 months. So my tip is that if you plan to go to the US for an internship, it's good to start thinking about it like at least half year in advance. So this is from my point of view. I don't know how it was
Thank you.
in the other applications.
Malvina?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so maybe I will just start because for us it was a little bit easier with that. I think it gets a little bit faster than 6 months. Maybe it depends on what the months you are applying. But there was a huge stress when you are going across the border because they are questioning you. But when you are already there and people are starting asking you about why you came there, and they will notice that you are not lying. So for people that will go there, I'm saying that go down, it's not that scary to go through the checkpoint in the airport. because I know a lot of people that going to US, they are always scared about it. So yeah, it's not that bad. And about applying for the internship, but I think the biggest thing is not to get discouraged, because sometimes people apply and they are just going at third or last year of PhD. So you just sometimes need to wait for your opportunity, and if you will look, you will find.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Tim. So you just have to try once, twice, and I would say that at least at our university, I think Camila will agree that Miss Agata is really helpful. She's trying to do everything, even the countries like UK, which right now we also have some law issues because it's not longer in the union. So if you can do it via the programs in which you have someone at your university. So, for example, Erasmus Plus, try this way first. And with the first internship, it will be easier for you to find another one. So that's it from me.
Thank you. And Camila?
Yeah, that's very important what Malvina said, that sometimes first internships are very, you can be very afraid of them. So sometimes it's easier to start from the opportunities that you somehow have on the plate, like IEST, Erasmus, ISEC, different association who can help you to go there. From my point of view, the first step is the hardest one. So if you think about internship, just try to find something, and because it's a really enriching experience. The cooperation. I was laughing when someone told me that going abroad changed their mind. They want to go abroad for the postdoc and other stuff, and I was like, come on, how amazing that has to be that you change your mind to not like finish the PhD or do some postdoc abroad while you have everything in Poland. And then I went for the first time for internship, and I decided like, okay, now I understand why they are saying this. And international internships are very enriching. You can make some cooperations which also are very good from point of view for potential grant applications. In Preludium, Opus, and other grants in Poland, it is very good if you have international cooperation. Sometimes very good projects are rejected because they don't have an international cooperation, and they say like it's lack of, it's a disadvantage of this project. From the other point of view, if you are going abroad, you can develop your skills in language, your social skills. Try to work in different environments. Sometimes it's very helpful if you have any problems in your department, in your university, or like in your working environment. If you change this environment and kind of step out from your environment and look on your experiments from other point of view, you can find that maybe you can change something, or it will always improve you as a scientist. Especially when you have that international cooperation. Once again, when we talk about the publications, it's always much easier to publish when you are in a group of people from different institutes, from different universities, from different countries. It's easier, and your publications can be much more interesting for science society. But just try. If you think about going somewhere, just try. It's always the best.
Thank you. That's amazing. So thank you, all of you, for the insights of foreign internships. I believe that everything you have shared today will have significant impact for those PhD candidates that would like to go abroad. And today we were hosting an interview with Malwina Niedźwiedź from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, Kamila Splinter from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, Konrad Walkowiak from West Pomeranian University of Technology in Szczecin, and Katarzyna Sokołowska from Medical Pomeranian University in Szczecin. Thank you very much.